Mic check. Holy shit. It's a new year. I'm sorry that I didn't have an episode right whenever we just got into the new year. I was sick. Like, let me give you a rundown on what happened. I told you guys that on New Year's Eve, the band that Shmeev and I are in, Quirk, we had our first official gig, which was awesome. I had a blast. It seemed like a lot of people enjoyed what we were doing, and it really made me happy that this is something that we were actually able to follow through on. We're taking a minor break now because one of our members actually she does musicals, so we're the band is on hiatus at the moment, but only for a couple months, I think, and then we're going to get back into it. Anyways, so what happened was immediately after that, I'm talking within the next couple days, all of us got sick. Now, thankfully, it was not COVID related. One of us had a cold for the better part of 2 or 3 weeks or something, and we're thinking that we probably just got it from him. I'm almost fully out of the woods with that. I still have a little bit of a cough, but it's not nearly as bad as what it was. The prior 2 weekends were super freaking not fun. But I'm doing okay now, but that was why I was not physically able to record something, because I would have just been coughing every fucking 5 seconds, and that's a lot of editing that would have been fucking pointless when all was said and done. So I'm sorry I didn't get you guys anything back then, but there probably wouldn't have been a whole lot to talk about anyway, so fuck it. I hope you guys enjoyed my top 5 albums of 2021. I didn't really get any feedback on it, but fuck it, whatever. I was satisfied with the list that I gave. Legit. I was fully okay with the list that I made, with what came out. That's how it is. And just last week, if you didn't notice, we released the commentary track. We did another commentary track like we did with Big Money Hustlers. We did one for Psychopathic the Videos, which is that DVD set they came out with back in 2007. Again, no music on it, but you pop the DVD in, you press play on it when we tell you to, and we do a commentary track over it. And it was fun to do that. The commentary tracks are actually a lot of fun for us because we don't really have to, we did it with Big Money Hustlers. We did take notes on it. We did watch it at least once ahead of time just to get a feel for it. But the music videos, I hadn't watched the music video DVD in a number of years, and Shmeev had never seen it. He'd only seen some of the music videos. But it was really cool because we got to be very lax with it. We didn't have to take notes or anything like that like we would normally do on a regular episode. And it was fun. Literally starting this coming Sunday, next week, we are starting our, quote, shit we missed section, which is stuff that either I said we didn't need to talk about because I'm a pretentious little shit, or, and this is the much more likely answer, is I didn't have it at the time. I legitimately think that only one of the records that we're going to cover is the stuff that I said we don't need to talk about it. But we are going to start our shit we missed section, where we're going to cover stuff that I didn't own at the time that is still part of the Psychopathic Records umbrella. And we're going to see how this goes. We already have the first episode recorded. I'm very excited. It was a lot of fun to record because it might or might not feature some other people on it. But it was a lot of fun to record. I'm looking forward to doing this section because most of the stuff that we're going to talk about, I actually haven't even listened to yet. So a lot of these are very, very fresh and new to me. So, for somebody who's been into this music for about half my life now, it is kind of cool to still find something that's relatively new for me. So I can't wait for that. the reason I bring this up so early in the mic check, because I want to have your attention on this, is the idea with these episodes is I know for sure we're covering 7 albums, but I was also contemplating us adding a couple of the DVDs that maybe we didn't chat about. We've actually been asked before about Shockumentary, and given that I do have that, I do have a regular DVD copy of it, but it looks like it's scratched to shit, so that might not be a good idea. But they did repackage it in the Great Milenko 20th anniversary, so I'm very, very high on contemplating us doing that. And I was also wondering if anybody would like us to do any of the Twisted ones. The main one being Born Twisted. I know that that's like very like parody heavy, but it is funny. And if anybody wants us to do a commentary track on something like that, I contemplated the Purple Show, but because it's episodic, I don't know if that's really something that we could cover, if it would really make sense. The only other things that came out from Psychopathic that were kind of like just DVD stuff were the stuff that were added into some of the CDs. Like we're not gonna look at the ones that came packaged with the Wraith or with Man's Myth and Mutant or with Road Fools and stuff like that, or A1 YOLO. Those are kind of pointless. But should we cover Shockumentary? I think a lot of people would say that yeah, we should. Should we cover Born Twisted? I would not mind doing more of the commentary style tracks because I think they're kind of fun. Because otherwise, the next one that we would do would not be until I think 2008 or 2009, which we're getting close to anyways. But we may not hit that this year. It might not be until next year. So if you guys are interested in that, please let us know. Moving on. I don't really have a whole lot to mention as far as stuff that I've listened to. I have listened to some stuff, but there is some news that that actually just got announced today. As of this recording, this is the day before I put these out. This is on Saturday, and that is that Juggalo Day weekend has officially been announced. And it is going to be, Juggalo Weekend is February 18th and 19th in Tucson, Arizona. Okay. Now, I think that they did say before that one of the Ultra Live Monster 5 or whatever the fuck they are shows were going to be in Arizona. Is this going to be that rock show that they mentioned? I don't fucking know. Tickets are on sale later this week, actually, the 26th. That's Wednesday. So, I guess keep an eye out. No other info at the moment, but they're probably going to make another announcement, I'm assuming, fairly soon. So, hey, Arizona, that's a big deal because normally they don't typically go to that area, so I'm kind of surprised that they're finally getting to do something there. Kudos to them. So, if you're in that area, go hit it up. That'll be dope, I'm assuming. Let's see. I don't think that there's really any big news. No one's announced anything like music-wise or anything, which is a bit of a bummer, honestly. I'm really like fiending for some new music. We haven't had any new there hasn't been any Axe streams in over a month now. So, who knows when the new Alazulu album's coming out. One thing of particular note, which is a big freaking deal, I'm actually going to go and double check this real time just to see if it's still there. So you're going to have to bear with me while I check this out. But Super Famous Funtime guys have lied, and it is still up there. Holy shit. If you go to Super Famous Funtime guys' site, if you're a fan of them, and it has to be their site, funtimegang.com, not the Long Live Evil site, they have officially re-released our album, which is the album that they keep fucking trying to just get rid of and not talk about. They don't want to deal with it no more. Nope, it's fucking up there. So for $10, our album. If you're missing that CD, go ahead, grab it, cop it, do it. Famous Funtime guys are a group that I'm really, really glad that I looked into last year. I mean, hell, you guys heard "Don't Hold Me from the Front" was on my list of my top 5 records from last year. And had I had more time with um, uh, the other album that came out from Camp Zool, it might have very well been that one. But I didn't think it was fair to gauge it like that. But I have never listened to any of the tracks from our album, so I'm really looking forward to hearing that. I think it says that it's going to ship at the end of the month, so looking forward to it. Now, the benefit of the gig that Shmeev and I did is that now I can finally go ahead and listen to my regular music fairly regularly. With the exception of obviously the stuff that we record now. So some stuff that I finally got to take some time and listen to because I had the time now. I finally got to listen to the most recent Lex the Hexmaster EP. This is part 3 of his 4-part EP series. And I'm finding that, holy shit, Lex is very good in smaller doses. And when I say that, I don't mean it as in I can only handle so much of him. I'm saying that whenever he is confining himself to only releasing smaller projects, it's literally filtering any excess fat. Anything that would just bloat out a record, bloat out a project, and just make there be really tracks that you don't give a shit about. I have really been enjoying this series so far. I was so disappointed in how Beyond Redemption turned out, especially when his first album, his first full length, was my favorite MNE record the year it released. Lex's, like, the mixtapes didn't really do much for me. I was very disappointed in the Strictly for My Ninjas one just because it just featured a bunch of people that I didn't care about. And I remember whenever the first of these EPs came out, Party Castle, I was not digging it except for the final track, Sleep at Night. And then it wasn't until the second one released that I listened to it again, and I was like, no, this is actually fucking great. Loved Haunted Mansion. I don't know if this one surpasses it, but it's very high up there. Lex is goddamn good. The final track was one that was released ahead of time that I was a huge fan of. It gave me some earlier style Eminem vibe. It reminded me a lot of the song Rabbit Run from the 8 Mile soundtrack. If you're familiar with that song, if you're not, check it out. It's a very, very cool song. But it has a vibe that is very similar to that, and I really, really dig it. Standout track, honestly, is the track with Gibby Stites. I know if you remember, I mentioned on the last mic check that Gibby is no longer officially a member of MNE. Best of luck to him, from here on out. I really do hope that he finds more success. I don't have anything against him as a person. His music wasn't quite for me, but that is just me. I'm not saying that you guys don't have to listen to him. I'm not that much of a shithead. But the track that he was featured on, his verse was fucking dope. The whole track is great. And I think I just want more of that style from Lex. I don't know what it really is about Lex that I know that he has so much potential. And I think it's the fact that I want there to be a little bit more input from MNE at this point, because really, after his first 2 projects, after the Black Season EP and after Contact, he's been very secluded. Yes, he's done guest features for people. He's been featured on the compilations, but other than that, his records are pretty much him. It's just him putting them out, and MNE's like, okay, yeah, we'll pop our stamp on it. Lex, for being one of the first new signings of MNE, has a lot, I think, that's, there's a lot of untapped potential, but I do think that there needs to be a little bit more push from the other members of the MNE camp. I think that there should be more collaborations, because I think it's going to help expand what everybody else is capable of too. Like, I want to hear, I would have loved to hear more of Lex and Gibby. I want to hear um, Lex and Blaze. I want to hear Lex. I want to hear Lex and Red. Like, like they have some kind of clashing styles, but I want to hear it. You know, there's just more stuff that I think we could get, and it's so limited. The fact that that EP was delayed for so long and finally came out, but I mean it. I had low expectations just because I understand what I'm getting with Lex for the most part, but it surpassed them completely. So I've been a fan. Like I said, I've really enjoyed the first three EPs. I can't wait to see what happens with the fourth one, but all in due time. I don't want the projects to be rushed. I want them to be done when they are ready to be put out. Plain and simple. The other main things that I was finally able to listen to, I had made a purchase, I think I made it around Black Friday, was I bought the entire discography of FAMS. And if you're not familiar with FAMS, FAMS and the Hooligans are based out of, I believe it's West Virginia. And I guess they have done a lot of stuff with Alazoalu, or they've like opened for them a lot or whatever. It sounds like they're friends and in like outside of just music. And I'd heard about them, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll give them a try. And I think on Black Friday they just had like everything was on sale, so why not? Let's just fucking spend a bunch of money on CDs. And so I went and I listened beginning to end. Started from the beginning, went to the latter stuff, latest stuff, whatever you want to say. And I can honestly say the earlier stuff did not really appeal to me. Part of it has a lot of a Ouija Mac vibe. And I don't say that to take shots at Ouija Mac. It's just Ouija Mac has a very specific style that is not something that directly appeals to me. There's stuff in there that I enjoy, but as a whole, it's not something that I'm going out of my way to listen to. But about midway through the projects, there's definitely some growth, some stuff that I think is very, very good. And if I had to say, like, hey, go and check out, this record or this record, the most recent ones, which is one is called The 2 and the other is called The 6. There's a lot of iconography with the number 26. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's cool because 26 is my favorite number. But if you're interested in trying to check out what the group is about, go ahead and check out those two albums. The 2 and the other album is The 6th. The 2 is a straight up rap hip hop based album. The 6th is more heavy rock, semi metal. Like it's kind of hard. I don't want to say that it's like new metal, but it does have some elements of it. But those are definitely the ones worth really digging into. FAMS also has two solo projects. They're just called FAMS, and they weren't bad. The newer one was probably the better of the two, which is actually the most recent project of the I guess group, but it's just him. I don't know. But definitely something to check out if you're waiting to see what new stuff comes out. So the only other thing that actually just came to mind was the fact that Juggalo Day is supposed to be um, the weekend of February 18th and 19th. Normally Juggalo Day is on the 17th, but we also have to remember that the first of Yum Yum Bedlam's Seeds is supposed to be out on Juggalo Day. And I don't know if that's still happening. If I had to guess, probably not. It's sad to say, but there's been no talk about it. I don't want something, again, I don't want things to be rushed. I would like there to be updates, that'd be cool. But we're not probably going to get them, and that's fine, I guess. They come out when they come out. I will say that I'll be salty if, that show is the only way to get it. I have no problem if it's the first way to get it. Like where they only have them for people who go to the show, and then later on they sell it separately for people. I have no problem with things being available first for people. I have a problem with exclusive. That's the issue. Um, so who knows if the new if the new Yum Yum EP is going to come out. Um, right now, it doesn't seem likely. Notice that there hasn't been any updates. There's been no updates on the Walking Home series. We only got that first one, I think, that was at the Gathering. Um, we have not had. There's never been an update on Clownheads. It's just they can't announce stuff like so far in advance. They shouldn't do it. It's not like how things were in the 90s where they could announce something and people would occasionally like bring it up and ask and be like, "Hey, what's going on with this project?" You know why they couldn't really do it back then was because we didn't have the fucking internet. And now we do, and we feel like we have a voice, and we want it to be heard, and we want to be like, "Hey, when the fuck is this coming out? You said this was coming out. You said that blank was going to be done by blank, and the day came and gone." We just need to shut the fuck up. We know how ICP is these days. They can't always get shit done whenever they say they're going to get it done. And that's not necessarily a problem, but they also need to break themselves of that habit. Because some of us want some shit. I enjoyed Yum Yum Bedlam a lot. It's probably my favorite ICP project since, I mean, it's the one that's resonated and hit me the best since the Missing Link records, the two main albums, but it's probably the best one since Death Pop. I don't know. I would like updates. No idea when Twisted's next record is going to be done. They've actually been very quiet about that for the most part recently, which is fine. I mean, they're still riding the high of Unlikely Prescription. Such a fucking good record. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. But right now, everybody's being very, very quiet. No new projects announced or anything, which is, it's, again, slightly concerning, but at the same time, I'm like, man, fuck, I should probably just take a break and be happy with this. Then, next thing I know, fucking 8 artists are going to say they got records coming out literally a week after each other. 2 straight months of new fucking music that I won't be able to handle, and I can't do it. We manage, but it's just a pain in the ass. At this point, I'm kind of just dragging things out. So I think I'm gonna call it quits here. Again, I apologize for not having anything 2 weeks ago. I was sick, and I know that I was inconsistent during the holidays and shit like that. But I mean, I'm gonna be frank. The holidays were a rough time for me, and we're finally getting past that. I have some things that are starting to potentially pick up in my personal life, and I'm gonna just try and ride that wave if I can. So I hope you guys understand, and I'll just leave that here. So again, thanks as always for listening. Remember that you can reach out to us, Juggalo Judgment, pretty much anywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please remember that we now have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is still in the stages of infancy. I have not been able to do much playing around with it. Shmeev has gotten a couple of the Patreon episodes up there, which is awesome. I think we actually have to record another one of those very soon. I think we're actually behind a month, so I do apologize for that. We definitely want to stay on top of that. December was fucking hectic, guys. So the purpose of the YouTube channel, we are going to have the Patreon episodes up there. Yes, they're still going to be on Patreon. And even if you don't subscribe to the Patreon, you can listen to them there. They're free. They're available for everybody. It's just submitting stuff for that. You have to subscribe to the Patreon. But we're also going to put those on YouTube, so that's cool. And all the mainline episodes of Juggalo Judgment will go on the YouTube. We will not be putting... I'm not going to put the mic checks up there because I think that those are a lot more... it really dates like how things are. And don't get me wrong, we did talk about like current stuff happening in a lot of the earlier episodes of Juggalo Judgment. But when I do the mic checks, it's kind of just to flat out be current. I don't think it's really going to resonate as much by putting old episodes on there. So those won't happen. So another thing that I'm going to do, I talked to Aaron and Eric about this, is if you haven't listened to ICP with We, they for each episode they take their favorite tracks from whatever project they're listening to, and they create a Spotify playlist that has that. What I'm eventually going to do is I'm actually going to create that same playlist for YouTube. So if for some reason you don't have Spotify or you don't have, a paid account or whatever, I'm going to create a playlist that has the entirety of Aaron and Eric's ICP with We playlist of their favorite tracks. So you can listen to them on YouTube if you'd like. It's going to be silly, but I said I was going to do it because fuck it. What else am I going to do? So yeah, again, Juggalo Judgment, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to hit me up personally, you can hit me up on Twitter at Mike Spawn, the SEJ. And if you want to hit me up on Instagram, which honestly is probably the better way to try and reach out to me, just because there's, you don't have to worry about a freaking character limit or anything like that. I mean, you don't have to on Twitter DM. But anyways, Instagram, straight as Juggalo. If you want to send an email, juggalojudgment@gmail.com. And if you would like to, you don't have to, but if you would like to send us money, please consider subscribing to our Patreon, patreon.com/juggalojudgment, and we will love you. We still love you regardless, but we will really, really hammer the fact that we love you. And you will feel that warmth in your heart. It won't, it's not anything to be concerned about. It is a calming warmth, one that just helps soothe you to sleep. I promise. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this right now. So I'm cutting myself off. I'm going. I'm thirsty. I want to drink the rest of my Faygo firework. I think the last 2 episodes have been me drinking firework, and I'm sorry. I try not to do that if I can help it. I have something different for my next one, so that's okay. And when I say the last 2, I'm implying the episode that hasn't come out yet, that comes out next week. I'm done. I'm signing out. Much love to y'all. Stay safe. Peace out.